Florence Villeminot has joined
Hi,
us here
Cyril.
on set. Hi, Florence. Good morning to you. You've been reading the French press. Syria really dominating the press, of course. Let's start here in France with papers reacting to a Russian plan to place Syria's chemical weapons under international control.
That's right. It's all over the French press today. Let's start by looking at La Croix, the Christian newspaper, that wonders if this Russian plan could be some sort of a way out. And La Croix points out that, well, in the immediate, it's going to make sure that it rules out any possibility for an immediate Western strike in Syria. And in its editorial, La Croix says that this is a welcome break. Basically, it's a chance, it buys some time for those who are trying to find a political solution, and it's also a welcome exit strategy for those who have been beating the war drum, namely France and the US. Basically, this provides them with an out. And Le Figaro, the right-leaning paper says that this is also really what's going on here. Basically, Obama and Hollande are seeking to avoid any kind of military strike. And their editorial, they say that, well, part of the art of diplomacy is knowing how to save face, and this is what's happening right now. This is an opportunity for them to back away with their heads held high, according to Le Figaro. And Le Figaro actually applauds Obama and Hollande for taking this opportunity. Who could blame them, says Le Figaro. It gives them an opportunity to get out of this quagmire that they had gotten themselves into, and it also gives the UN an opportunity to prove that, once again, it's useful.
And what is the press saying about just what Russia is trying to do? They're having a hard time reading Moscow's latest move.
That's right. A lot of papers are wondering if Russia is finally stepping in to kind of put an end to this military escalation, or, as Libération wonders, is this some sort of a Russian ruse? And Libération says, how can we trust Moscow when up until now they've been opposed to any kind of a UN resolution? Le Figaro says that no matter what, whether or not you can trust Russia, this is really a genius diplomatic move by Vladimir Putin, a master move that scored Moscow with several points, the most important one being that it puts the Kremlin back in the center of diplomacy in the Middle East. Basically, Moscow is now calling all the shots and pulling all the strings.
So, Western countries, France and the US, Russia. What do papers make of the other key player here? Of course, Damascus.
That's right. Well, Le Figaro says that what Bashar al-Assad is trying to do here is buy time, because if this plan does indeed go into effect, it's going to take a lot of time to actually neutralize Syria's chemical arsenal. Technically, it's not a matter of days. It's more of a matter of weeks and months. It's going to take a lot of negotiating with Damascus to gain access to all these military sites and to carry out an inventory. And then it's going to take dozens of years to actually destroy Syria's chemical arsenal.
And meanwhile, the civil war continues to rage on in Syria. The Le Monde, the French daily, has an incredible account from an Italian journalist who released on Sunday after being held captive in Syria for 5 months. And I've read it. It's horrifying.
It's horrifying. It's a really fascinating read, though. It's really horrifying. His name is Domenico Chirico. Now, he's a journalist from La Stampa. He was held captive with a Belgian national as well, and he says that he discovered the country of evil, as he puts it. Now, he was originally embedded with the Free Syrian Army when he was kidnapped by a bunch of thugs, and he likens the situation to a Somali situation where all these thugs are taking advantage of the situation to really pillage the region.
Right, he explains the rebellion is sliding into mafia-like organization in some parts of the country.
Absolutely. And he says that then he was handed over to Islamist fighters, actually, from the Al-Nusra Front, and he paints a really fascinating picture of the group, because for them, the West is the enemy, but they say that they actually treated him quite well, according to him. But it's a really fascinating account of what's going on behind the scenes in the rebellion against Bashar al-Assad. Basically, he paints this portrait of the rebellion as various different groups that have completely different aims for post-Assad Syria, but they're having to work together now to bring Bashar al-Assad down.
All right, and that was a very interesting part of the article. He says the only modicum of respect that he got when he was handed over between the several groups came from the Al-Nusra Front. Very interesting there in the French daily Le Monde. Florence Villeminot with the French Press Review. Thank you very much. All right, stay tuned to France 24. We're back in just a few moments, just after this, with more news.